the greatest thing about surfing is it's therapeutic. I think that's common with any surfer, you know, disabled or not. When you go out in the ocean, you come back and you just feel better.
Yeah, so I went 4 years ago to the Adaptive World Championships, which is held in La Jolla in San Diego, and we were utterly inspired by the people, the characters who are involved in the whole scene, the athletes obviously themselves, and could really see a future whereby we could really grow a groundswell of support for it in the UK, particularly in England. So yeah, we came back from that championships and thought, right, how can we support our English adaptive surfers, getting them out there, getting them more support, giving them a bit more presence out there. So the first thing we said is, let's have an adaptive championship. That would be so cool. Already in the short time, it's really succeeded.
I just think it's like surfing, it's just all about the community that goes with it. It's the lifestyle, it's the sport, and it's just getting out into that like natural environment.
I love this competition in England because it's like good vibes with good people, and that's the real surfing, you know.
There's a bit of a tour going on at the moment, so myself and a few of the other competitors have just got back from Hawaii. So there's a couple of gold medalists here. They're going to be going out there, which isn't quite Hawaii. Well, I suppose I was adaptive surfing before it was even a thing. As far as I knew, I was the only one. I couldn't find anybody else. And then the last 5 years, this whole thing has just exploded, and yeah, loads of people coming together.
You need a 2.42, and second, yellow, you need a 2.28. All very close together. It is anyone's final in these difficult, challenging conditions, and they all know.
Recently, I've been in Costa Rica, Hawaii, California, and now here. Then we're doing another one in Wales, and then there's another one in Spain. Then there's another one in the US, and then there's one in Japan. So that's all of this has kind of exploded over the last 5 years. Because I was a surfer before I was injured, I also knew about adaptive surfing. It was a no-brainer. I just jumped on my old board and carried on surfing.
For me, it was a birth defect. I didn't have the ankle, foot was twisted. My parents were given a choice of a club shoe and wear that for the rest of my life and drag it basically, or amputation. My boards are just normal surf boards. I ride standard boards. My sponsor's really good. I have separate legs for surfing. For me, that's the only difference. Yeah.
It's pretty much one of the only times I ever get to see my friends is at these competitions. This is my first time here in England in general, and it's going to be very interesting trying to get into the water. The person I got my eye on is Charlotte Banfield, and we actually competed together at World Championships. She got third, I got fourth, so little redemption time.
There's a couple of guys that I've surfed against before. They're good friends, and then we hit the water and they're not. But yeah, there's Benoit from France. He's good. I've got my eye on him. Yeah, he's beat me into second place in this competition the last 2 years by that much. So yeah, he's my nemesis. So I've got my eye on him. Yeah.
I've been surfing for 2 years, and it took me to California, Spain, and all around Britain. I know surfing's about standing up, where in adaptive surfing it's not all about standing up. Like there's a sitting, there's a kneeling, and my division's prone, so I lie down. I've got diaplegic cerebral palsy that stops me from having functioning in my legs. I do have some functioning, but not all, and yeah, it doesn't really stop me at all.
When I was younger, I used to surf as a grom, and there was never anything catered for people with any sort of disability, so we kind of just gave up. And now that it's so inclusive and they just do whatever they can to aid you and support you, and it's just made it so much easier to go in the water and to compete again. So I'm visually impaired, totally blind in my right eye, and in my left eye it's pretty much tunnel vision with 10 degrees either side. So you literally just like look for a toilet roll tube and that's about it. But then that means I don't have any depth perception. So now the adaptive surfing's taken off. I've got a guy who comes in with me and he'll tell me when the waves are coming and how far out they are, and if they're a left or a right or if it's steep. So that's been the biggest help in my surfing more than anything.
Adapting, that's been my entire life. I never had use of my arm, so I don't know what it's like to have it. Surfing has helped it quite a bit. It doesn't freeze up as often. Sometimes my hand will get really tense, but with surfing it doesn't do that as often anymore, actually. It's been quite nice.
Yeah, disability, especially 50 years ago, was a hard thing. So growing up, going through school and stuff like that, it was hard, you know, the butt of all the jokes and bullying, basically. And my sense of humour, I think, has grown out of that. You'll find all the guys here, we all have a really good sense of humour about our disabilities. You know, it's like this private little group, we're allowed to, so we do. Yeah, and you know, I mean, I've legally changed my name to PEGLEG, so it's on my passport, my driving licence, so I have a sense of humour, yeah.
I think one of the biggest challenges that most disabled people have to deal with is probably ignorance. Getting disabled is a challenge in itself, and you develop a mindset of coping, and that happens pretty quickly because you have to. But it still gets a little bit awkward, and that's probably the biggest challenge. But the actual physical challenges becomes normal. So you wake up in the morning and it's just like, oh yeah, luckily my wheelchair's right next to the bed. I can get up and go.
Me, Charlotte, some other people in the adaptive surfing community, we've been like this our entire lives, so we don't know much else. So for people who get injured later on in life, don't be as angry. You know, it gets better. You know, it's not that bad after a while.
No matter what your disability is or what you've got wrong with you, it doesn't really matter. As long as you enjoy it and you love what you're doing, you can do it.
You know, whether you're physically challenged or anything, it doesn't matter. Set your mind to it. As long as you're happy and you're enjoying what you're doing, that's the main thing.
There's so many people which could have turned around and said that they'd never be able to go back in the sea, and they have. So I just give everyone just that little inkling to just give it a go, because it's actually okay, and put your mind to it, you'll be able to do it.
You know, everybody's got their own adversity in their life. They've got moments in time when they're really struggling with something, and I think what these people really put on show is how you can overcome that. No matter what problem you have in life, you can get the other side and you can actually become a superpower one day. And that's what these guys, they've taken something that could have really knocked them down and they've made it their superpower, and I think we've all got that. You've just got to find it.